Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team. We take the ball from goal to goal like no one's ever seen. We're in the air, we're on the ground, we're always in control. And when
All right, as always, Dolphins number one, baby!
So fins up to all you guys. Thank you for doing
I just want everybody to remember, we may not always agree on everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we do agree on, is we are all Dolphin fans. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me, as always, tonight, Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphin Thirsty. How you doing tonight, Rob?
Can't complain. Rainy evening here in Pembroke Pines, Florida. It poured. A monsoon in November. Where did that come from? But it poured. But everything else is great. Dolphins Thirsty. Take a look over there on our channel here on YouTube and check out dolphinthirsty.com. All things are great. The Dolphins won the bye week, as they say. That's been the word. You know, it was a good week to be a Dolphin fan without him playing.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I agree with you 100%, Rob. And everybody that's in the chat, I thank you for joining us tonight. Please hit that like button. If you're new to the channel, as always, please subscribe. If you like what you hear here tonight, subscribe. And if you really, really like what you hear, please share with your friends, your families, and your neighbors. And remember, we may not always agree everything Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on. We are all Dolphins.
That we are.
Yes, sir.
We are.
And Rob, I would like to introduce a sponsor for the Fins Talk Sports Network and Real Talk Fins Talk, Caneswear, and let me give you a little insight into Caneswear here a little bit, and then we can go on here. Hold on there, Rob. Let me get this set up and give a little insight into Caneswear for our Dolphins. All right. So as you see at the bottom is Caneswear. If you're looking for new Dolphins gear, visit Caneswear at Miami Fans Wear Today. They have everything from jerseys, helmets, hats, shirts, and a bunch more. And if you live in the Florida area, in the South Florida area, or anywhere in Florida, or traveling down from a Dolphins home game, make sure you stop at Caneswear. They're located, and you'll see the address there, at 2655 South University Drive in Davie, Florida. Now, also, for you folks that live outside of Florida, that's all right. You can check out the website at www.caneswear.com and order from there today. And in fact, if you do order anything that's over $99, Rob, is shipped for free.
Sounds good, man. And we got a couple of people in there saying hello to all of us. So there you go.
All right.
So yes, hello to you, Aladino, too. And big fins up to all of you guys.
Yep. I see Daniel's in there. We got Daniel
I guess he
Millard.
must be in South. Daniel must be a fellow South Floridian. I got soaked tonight in Pembroke Pines making a food run.
Yeah.
So I know it is soaked out there. So
Aladino is in there in the house. Yeah. And just to give you a little insight here in Houston as well. Yeah, it's been raining all week. It was pouring down all week. And today's the first day that the sun came out after about a week. So I was outside, out and about, enjoying the sun and doing a little work, But yeah, it was raining here too, Rob. Man, we got a lot to talk about, man. For some Dolphins news right off the bat, River Craycraft, he has finally made it off IR. So he will be back on the roster. And
Yep.
they cut the guy that we picked up from the Dallas Cowboys.
In the Equal trade.
Yeah, Calvin Joseph. He was a
Yep.
cornerback, so we waived him. So now we've got River Craycraft back. We've got A-Chain is back. Who else did we get back, Rob?
A-Chain's a big one. A-Chan is the big one, of course. Even though it's only his window open, so he hasn't been activated to the roster yet. Unfortunately, we're not getting the Robs back, it doesn't look like, against
Right.
we're not getting our guards back against the
Right.
Raiders. So that's really just it for right now. But yeah, there are other people on the horizon, but as far as officially active, only Craycraft right now. But we got other guys right there in the window of coming back soon. So.
Yeah. So
no,
Robert,
Hunt's not back yet,
Mhm.
Mr. Millard. Hopefully, they're saying week to week, not day to day.
Right.
Hopefully, he's come back. I definitely want to buy time you face the Jets. So I mean, I'm not saying the Raiders are a give me. Raiders are coming in at 5-5 on a 2-game winning streak under the new interim coach. So it's by far the give me that everyone's talking about on Twitter. It's going to be so you never know in the NFL, as I like to say. But maybe we can get by without Hunt against the Raiders, but I definitely don't want to go up there against that defensive front of the Jets without Hunt.
Yeah, for sure. And speaking of the I'd like to do a little review of what we talked about last week when we had Brett Legassi on the show. I'll kind of incorporate that in what we're talking about tonight. But first off, I want to we'll talk a little bit about the Raiders. The last time we played the Raiders was in 2021. We played them in Vegas. We lost that game 31-28. Now, of course, different times, different coach, different players.
Right. Of course.
So, that was what, 2 years ago now. So anyway, that was the last time we played the Raiders. And as you said, yes, the Raiders are coming to the Hard Rock Stadium. They're 5-5. Who would have thought, right? They've fired their head coach, Josh McDaniels, and Antonio Pierce, ex-Giant linebacker, is their interim coach right now. And they're on a two-game win streak. So they're coming in hot. And they are no joke. Their defense is no joke. They have a very good defense. Offense, not so much. As we'll see here in some of the stats that I have, making some comparisons. Yeah,
I think they're right in the middle of the road defensively overall.
Right.
They have good run defense and not so great pass defense. So it comes out right almost in the middle of the league, I think. You got all the stats in front of you. I'm just saying from what you
So I'll just piggyback on that right there. What you just that'd be a good intro right there. So we'll just do a little comparison right now between the Dolphins and the Raiders coming to Hard Rock this week. So let me put my glasses on.
No problem. Hey, hooked up Joe.
Hook up Joe. How you doing, brother? Glad you're here tonight. Always happy to have you here in the show or in the chat and show. So we'll just go over the defense first, Rob. The Raiders, as you said, they are 18th. Their overall defense is ranked 18th, where Miami's has moved up. They moved up to 12. They started off the year at like 26. So they made it. They're trending up right now. Hopefully they will stay that way. Passing defense, they're ranked 8. Dolphins are ranked 13. So they have a very good passing defense. In fact, they have a really good linebacker who actually has 3 interceptions. So he's part of that. They're helping out in the passing game. He has 3 interceptions. That's Robert Spillane, and he's ranked as a top linebacker. He's like number 6, I think, in total passes defense, tackles,
Well, if I haven't
assists.
been listening to any stats, I know that guy Crosby scares me. I know you
Yes,
will
in
get into
fact,
him later, but if I haven't, you got the sheet in front of me, but that guy
yeah,
is
yeah,
watching.
yeah. Max Crosby, he has 10 sacks. He has 10 sacks, and listen to this. He's leading in pressures. He has 58 pressures. So
Yeah,
he's playing against Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson is going to have a handful with him. Not only does he play the pass pressures and sacks. The dude is all over the field. He's like a linebacker. He's like a middle linebacker. You sometimes you see him going all the way across the field to make a tackle. He's a hustler. He's got a motor on him. So that's a guy that we're going to have to contain along with the linebacker Robert Spillane. Those two are going to be a handful for us along with their defensive backs, and their cornerbacks are decent as well. They're up there in some of the top rated corners and defensive backs as well. So getting back to the comparisons here, rushing defense, they're 29th. Miami is 13th. Scoring defense, scoring defense, they're ranked 13th. Miami is ranked 26th. That's an area that Miami has to improve on. And if you notice in a lot of the games that they've played, whether it was the Panthers or Giants, who always scored first? It was always the opposing team. That's something that we have to work on. We cannot let them come out and score, especially if they're receiving the kickoff, right? So we can't have that. Red zone, they're 25. We're 29th, so even there in the red zone. What was this one? Points allowed. They're allowing 20 points a game, their defense, where Miami needs to improve as well on this front, 25 points a game. So they're still allowing 25 points a game.
I think it will get better, as some people are pointing out in the comments. We got people coming back. We've moved all the way up to 12th overall defense, so we are improving in the rankings. So,
and this is what kind of let's put this in context, okay? We played Kansas City, we played Philadelphia, with the exception of Buffalo, who we all know what happened, when we played Buffalo up there. But when we played those two teams, and I know the Dolphins defense, they did pretty well against Philly as far as stopping the run, and we kind of saw some
still gave up too many points, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
They did
okay.
They
They
started
okay.
showing signs of improvement at that
They
point.
started showing signs of improvement, but here's the key to that, and this is how I'm putting this into context. At the time, okay, if you go back and you look at the Philadelphia Eagles offense that played games prior to Miami, and you go back and you see Kansas City games that they played prior to Miami, and even Patrick Mahomes even said their offense is not anywhere near where they need to be or where they should be.
Right.
Same with Philadelphia. When we played Philadelphia, their offense wasn't even gelling at that time. And even if you look at it now, they've only had, if you look at their offense now, they've only had 2 games where they've really been explosive scoring. Miami, and they scored 38 against, was it against the Lions? I think it was one of those teams. But so what I'm saying is our defense trending, or is it that we were playing at teams where their offense was not gelling at that specific point?
No, I know, but
that's just something to keep in mind.
We did keep Kansas City, though. Like I said, whether they just weren't gelling, whatever. We only gave them 14 points, really. 2 long touchdown drives, and that's it. We shut them down the rest of the game, but that was enough, unfortunately, with the Tyreek Hill fumble to give them the win, but I did see signs of improvement from our defense in that game that gives me hope for the remainder of the season. So that's where I stand. And you're right, Joe. Where do you get your stats from? He got his from the NFL site. I saw mine on Fox Sports.
Yes, that's where I got mine. I actually got mine on Fox Sports.
Yeah, that's where I
Yes,
got mine too.
that's
So,
where I got
but
mine.
yeah,
Fox
so
Sports.
whatever, because they're 12th overall defense in
Yeah. Yeah. So
on Fox. But
let's just hope that they continue to trend up, and it's not one of those things where Kansas City's offense and Philly's offense wasn't really up to par, and the defense looked good because of that. Let's hope that they are trending up, and you know what, we're not going to really see that again until we play Dallas, until we play the Ravens, and until we play Buffalo again, because we're playing the Raiders, right? Terrible offense. We're playing Washington. Washington, not too
you
good.
forgot about the Jets in between there. You got the
Yes,
Jets.
well, and the Jets, terrible
Yeah.
offense, great
Yeah.
defense, but terrible offense. So our defense should be trending up for the next
We
at
should
least
see,
5
hey,
games.
we got a guy all the way from the Bahamas, man. That's a first.
Nice.
Thank you.
Nice.
Thank you, sir. Fins up to you over there in the Bahamas.
Yes.
So awesome.
Mr.
But,
Tinker, thank you for joining us tonight. Appreciate that.
Yeah. And if you're new to the channel, sir, if you can tackle that like button and subscribe button, would be a big benefit to the channel.
Oh, Rob.
Free to you.
Rob, Scotty's in the house.
Scotty's always. I saw Scotty today and Miss Finn, so always good to see Scotty, and I hope I see him in my show tomorrow morning on Dolphins Thursday. So now the defense improvement is not them trending up; it's opponent's offense is being bad. Okay, gotcha. That's a hell of a. I don't think that's. I think he's just pointing out. I don't know. He's talking about future opponents. I don't know
Yeah.
what. So make your point to Scotty, Steve. What you're trying to.
Yeah, what my point is, that's all I'm saying is it's food for thought,
Right.
That's all I'm doing. I'm throwing some food for thought, right? Is it because our defense is trending up, or is it because the offenses
Right. I thought you formed it as a question.
I'm not saying the offenses were bad. I'm saying if the offenses weren't gelling and weren't playing at all 6 cylinders. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not saying the Dolphins, that's the reason why.
Right.
I'm just bringing a point up.
Yeah, because I heard it as a question, but I understand Scotty's point too. But I heard it.
Yeah,
as
no,
a
he's got a good point. No, I get it. I get
We're
what
gonna
he's saying.
see. Listen to me. Overall picture, there is no excuse, no reason. If the Dolphins don't win the AFC East this year, I don't know if they're ever going to win the AFC East again, because everything's trending right. We're starting to play better. Our division foes are having some woes. So, yes, can things change as the season goes on? There's a lot of football left to be played, of course. But as of right now, we're 2 games up in the loss column on our biggest competitors in the division.
Yeah.
So we have our fate in our own hands. Go out there and keep on winning the games that you're supposed to win, which I always find is a funny thing. Just ask the Buffalo Bills on how we supposedly beat the JV squad, Denver Broncos, and then they lost to them. So you never know. And I'm not making fun of the Bills fans because they beat us when it mattered. But at the end, I think we're going to be the better team. We just got to keep on going. But it just proves every single week you don't know. I was for sure. Kohler, even Scotty brought up are you sure Dolphins Thursday? But Kohler was pretty like, oh, I think Denver might beat Buffalo. So some people maybe, but I would have never predicted that. So that's what I'm saying. Just beat the Raiders this week, Steve. We are in control of our destiny. Don't look back. Stay in control. In the 3-year reign of the Buffalo Bills of the AFC East champs, grab it for our own. Guarantees a playoff spot. Guarantees a home playoff game. And if we can't win it this year, when you're more than now and halfway through the season for us, 2 games up in the loss column with some favorable matchups, I would say favorable, where we'll probably be favored by the Vegas gurus. Go control your business, and the Miami Dolphins should be the AFC East champs. But we got to take it week by week, and I hope fans remember that. We as fans, we can look a little more, Steve, ahead. But the Dolphins need to focus each week, and I think they've been very good at this year. They haven't let one of those, oh, no, you shouldn't have ever lost. Just ask the Buffalo Bills. They have a whole bunch of games that they probably think they shouldn't have lost. So, Kansas City lost to Denver. So you never know. just take it week by week, Steve, and we should be happy with the result at the end of the year, barring injuries and setbacks.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Let's shift to the offense, Rob. As I said, the offense for the Raiders is not really good. Um, in fact, their passing offense is ranked 23rd. Miami's, of course, is still up there, ranked number 1. Rushing offense, 30th. They're almost dead last. Miami is tied for number 2 with the Cleveland Browns. Scoring, they're 27th. Miami is still 1. They're still number 1. The Raiders are averaging 17 points per game, and Miami's averaging 31.7. So a drop off from the last time we went over stats with
Yeah, I know we've had
before
a couple
Kansas City.
tips, but it's okay,
Yeah.
man. We
Yeah. In the red zone, they're ranked 19th. Miami's ranked number 1. They're when they get to the red zone, they're popping it in there 75% of the time.
Yes.
And of course, Raiders is scoring 50% of the time they get down into the red zone. Third down, they're ranked almost dead last, 29. Miami's ranked 16th. They're averaging 33% third down. That's the Raiders. In Miami's 39%. So that's
Right.
it for the comparison. So as you can see, Rob, as you and I have talked about this, the offense is not really good of the Raiders. They have a defense that is capable, especially in the pass defense.
Right.
But we've got A-Chain back. We've got Craycraft is coming back. So everybody's healthy. Everybody's healthy other than Robert Hunt and Robert Jones.
Yeah, the 2 Robs are out for a
The,
little bit,
the
but
2
hopefully,
Robs are out.
like I said, hopefully Hunt gets back while we get in the hunt for the playoff and the division lead.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
what I want. And Daniel, welcome to the show. Yes, the bye week went well. Now the Dolphins, all they need to do is take care of their own business, and everything will be smelling nicely in South Florida. And who else snuck into the room? New attitude. Fins up to you. New attitude. Big thank you, and make sure you hit that button for us. So, no, you make, and if Achan can possibly come back, I don't know if they're going to open the window for him or not.
Right.
I mean, the window's open, but I don't know if they're going to
Yeah,
open up a
right.
spot for him or not. We will see. I would have said a couple weeks ago no, but now this week, the last game, I should say, we just had a bye week. They activated, Armstead that week and played him that week. But that was the first time they had really opened the 21-day window and then activated some guy. So are we going to break the mold again, or is that just down par for the course? So we will see on that front. But I really want A-Chan back there. He's an element that is missing in that Dolphins offense. He just brings a whole other dimension to the game. He hits that hole so hard, and he can catch the ball out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
And because anytime that young man touches the ball, he can take it to the house. And that's just another good feeling. It's a big upgrade. Because Mostert's great, but you got to worry about him always staying healthy, and you don't want to overdo him. Ahmed is just a guy. He's in the NFL, has more talent in his pinky than I do in my whole body. But in the NFL standard, he's just a guy.
Right.
Achan is more than just a guy. He's a difference maker. And that's what we need, a difference maker back there. And then you got Wilson. To me, Ahmed might be the man out when Achan comes back. They may fill that spot. I don't know how all the contracts work out, who's there and who's, if they have anyone that they're going to stick on IR that we don't know about. But Achan is definitely going to bump someone from the roster, because you cannot tell me there's 53 guys better than Achan on the active roster. So he's definitely going to come back and contribute to this team. And I can't wait to see him back in action. He was so much fun. So, I mean, basically, he would never win Rookie of the Year, of course, because of what CJ Stroud. You might as well hand him the Rookie of the Year right now. But for as far as rookies, man, he was doing way above expectations. He came in, made a difference. So much fun to win. And anyway, there I've already guaranteed the AFC Rookie of the Year and Coach of the Year in the Texans. Both of those guys might as well lock up the board now. So,
Well,
Steve,
yeah. I think at this point, remember, we still have a lot of football, Rob. We still have another, 8 games to play. So a lot of things can change in that time period. Um, but yeah, I agree with you. CJ Stroud has been playing great, and I'm here in the Houston area, so
yeah,
I hear people talking about him all the time. And D'Amico Ryans, I like D'Amico Ryans.
yeah.
And yeah, I never would have thought that the Texans were going to be 5-4 at this point in the season. I really didn't.
Hey,
Um,
Scotty, they activated him today. They activated him today, and they got rid of Kelvin Joseph. We talked about
mhm.
on the beginning of the show. The guy, Kelvin Joseph's the guy we traded equal in the straight up swap, I think, for. But
Yep.
so he's activated, Scotty. And let's see. Someone brought up Claypool. I was excited for the potential Claypool. I'm hoping he picks up. We will see, man. We shall see. I heard some people saying Cal Cal Krabs was saying that he's not the best blocker, and that that was hurting
Mm.
him. That he was rating his blocking, and he hasn't been wowed. So, but he says he hopes to see him more as a weapon in the future. So
Yeah, I'd like to see Claypool in there just to see what he can do
yeah,
to contribute. But I know I was listening to Omar Kelly the other day, and he was saying that he's with these guys, talks to these guys, and talks to the coaches and all this stuff.
yeah,
He has access to all that, but he was saying that Claypool just isn't learning the language right now.
yeah. I know.
He,
Hopefully
he's
that he
he's
can
got to
pick it
pick
up.
it up. Yeah,
And don't worry, Aladino, I do the same thing. I always want to say San Diego. I
yeah,
always want
me
to say
too.
Oakland too. It just goes with the flow, man. But it's just, I know when it's coming out of my mouth, I'm saying it wrong, but it's too late at that point. It's just
Yeah.
like it's already escaped out there, man. So
So, Rob, I think that and we're gonna have the pregame show on Sunday. I believe, right, Rob?
yes, we are. That we are.
Okay. So it's 10
Off
a.m.
the
Eastern Standard Time on Sunday morning. Rob and I will have the pregame show on his Dolphin Thirsty YouTube channel. So if you all are awake and want to hear some good pregame stuff and analysis about the Miami Dolphins on Sunday morning before the game, tune in at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
And in case you're just joining us, Steve, I'm going to just interject your
Sure,
super
go
job
ahead.
you're doing, guys, because now there's a lot of people. We covered a cool announcement at the beginning of the show, just in case, but now I see a lot more people in the room, Steve. So if you live in the South Florida area, it's always the year to visit Caneswear. Go check out the store. It's right there on University Drive, easy to find. And if you're across the nation somewhere else and you want your Fins gear, your Hurricanes gear, your Miami Heat, Miami Marlins gear, check out their website, caneswear.com. They are a new official sponsor of the Fins Talk Sports Network.
Thank you, Rob.
Yeah.
And also, if you've just now joining in the chat, please hit that like button. If you're new, please subscribe. And if you like what you're hearing, and we're here every Tuesday night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. If you like what you hear, please share with your friends and your families and your neighbors. We appreciate
Yeah.
it. And I saw that Mr. Tinker from the Bahamas, he said that he had already subscribed. So I appreciate you, buddy, for subscribing. Thank you so much.
Hey, Daniel, you're right. I talked about Crosby for a minute. What a steal they got, man. He's a fourth round draft
Yeah.
pick.
Yeah.
And
It's crazy.
that's like always great when your team finds the steal like that. But man, that guy just gets every time I watch a Raiders game, this guy gets after it. So he just has that relentless motor. I am going to be worried about him come game day time, but as long as you can limit, he's going to get to Tua eventually, probably, just because he almost always does in these games. But I mean, on to any quarterback, limit that though, and just get quick passing. Can't sit there in the pocket a long time waiting for him to nail you. He could ruin you're right. He can destroy a game quickly. And the
And
Raiders are no joke, man. They're
no.
5-5 now, and they, I'm not saying they're the next best thing, but they're pretty good. They're 5-5. The Bills are 5-5. So, it's just like, hey, don't look past them.
And they're a
I'm
different
hoping
team. They're a
Yeah,
different
hey.
team than they were when they were with Josh McDaniels. So
Yeah, no, they are. And it's just,
they've turned it around 180 degrees.
yeah.
But Rob, I wanted to talk a little bit about what you were just talking about Crosby getting to the quarterback, and this has a little bit to do what we were talking about last week with Brett Lagasse when we had him on the show, and it's about Tua Tagovailoa, and I've already talked to you about this a little bit and gave you my thoughts. This week, we had the bye week. Miami didn't play, and of course, all the teams that we needed to lose lost, right, in our division. So that was a good thing for the Miami Dolphins. But getting back to what I was going to say, look, Tua Tagovailoa has been playing really, really good this year. He's I've always said from a scale from 1 to 10. He's been playing for the most part at about an 8, level, with the exception of maybe the Kansas City game. But we still played a good game. He played a good game. He made a few
It's just, I
mistakes.
think we all remember the ending, and the ending was
Yeah,
bad.
he made a few errors. He made a few mistakes. He missed left some meat on the bones. We all know that. But here's what I was going to get to saying. I was watching a lot of football during the bye week, and especially the teams that Miami are going to be playing up against here soon: Raiders, Jets, Buffalo, and Patriots. And there's one element that I saw in all of these games, and that was the quarterback was creating plays. The quarterback was rolling out of the pocket, finding ways to make a play downfield. Even as bad as Zach Wilson, we say, played, he still was out there, creating some with his
I
legs.
give him that. He has some wheels on him. I was
Yeah,
like, man,
he does. But the point I'm getting at, is we are now going into the second half of the season. We're getting ready to go up here into December. We play the Raiders. Then we got to play the Jets in MetLife Stadium. After that game, the MetLife Stadium game, it's going into December, right? Then we got to face Washington. We got to face the Jets again. We got to face Dallas, the Ravens, and the Bills again.
Oh no, it doesn't get easy down the stretch.
It doesn't get easy. And these teams, whether good, bad, or in between, they're playing competitive football. They are, whether their record is 0-8 or 8-0, they are given 110%, and they want to beat you to death. So all I'm saying is, what I'm seeing now that the speed is starting to pick up in the league, and teams are starting to play fast. They're starting to, they're all starting to gel. Kansas City, all those guys you're going to see are going to start to gel. Look, the Raiders are starting to gel. These guys are going to be coming at this Miami Dolphins football team, and Tua Tagovailoa, and Tyreek said it. He said, we're only going to go as far as Tua can take us. That's what I'm saying. So it's going to be on Tua to take us to where we need to go, and that's where we're going, to the Super Bowl. That's where we need to go. Okay? So
good morning,
he is going to have to take it. He is going to have to take it upon himself. Okay? In some of these games, especially when, like the Kansas City game, where they were like white on rice on Tyreek and all the rest of the receivers. These defenses are going to play these receivers tight. They're going to be physical, and he's going to have to come out of that shell, or McDaniel is going to have to cut him loose and say, dude, it's on you. You're going to have to make some plays off script, because this is playoff season, baby. I said this last year. Show me the money, baby. Show me the money that you can do this. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, I agree. And back it up in Cass. Good evening. I'm so used to saying good morning on my show. I said good morning. Kohler, what can I say? The man was right. I sung your praises in the beginning. You said that Broncos could most definitely beat Buffalo. I did not see it happening. I just thought Buffalo had way too much to play for and that it was in Buffalo. And that's why you can never assume, because you know what assuming does. And that's what happened. I assumed, but I'm happy I was wrong. That's one of those instances that you'd like to be wrong. But now we got our work cut out for us. Like I said, Steve, we got that. We're in control of our own destiny. There's no reason.
For sure.
Yes, we got some good teams up ahead, but they got some good games up ahead. They got to come to Miami at the end of the season if all things are close. Hopefully, we have it wrapped up by that week. And our biggest decision is, do we play our starters to knock off Buffalo out of the playoff picture, or do we just roll it easy because no matter what, our status can't change with a win or loss that last week of the season? We will see how it goes. It could very well come down to the very end because things are going to change. But man, it's been a great bye week as far as, almost every single game went our way other than maybe the Packers being unable to beat the Steelers. Almost every other game went the way of the Dolphins. The Jacksonville lost. Cincinnati lost, but now they're the same record of the Texans. So who knows how that tiebreaker is. We may be saying, oh, no, why did we want the Texans to win that game? So, Texans may win their division. I wouldn't be shocked. They may win their division because they're only a game behind Jacksonville. Plus, they got the head-to-head matchup in Jacksonville out of the way, and they won that game. And everyone was saying, oh, my God, I can't believe the Texans beat Jacksonville. It may not be such a big stretch now. They got each other coming up in the next couple weeks again, so that could decide. I hope you're right. Back it up, Ben podcast 4-1 the next 5, setting up for the final. That would be nice if you can get 4 wins. Hopefully, one of them's against the Jets, and because you want those division wins, especially when it comes to tiebreakers.
Welcome, TB. Thank you for joining the show tonight. I appreciate you, and you make a good point. He has made some plays off script, but not many. I'm watching a lot of football, and I'm seeing a lot of these quarterbacks making not just 1 or 2 plays here and there off script, many plays off script. So that's what I'm referring to. Until he can show me he can do that, I'm gonna keep saying my opinion. This is my opinion, okay? So, if you think I'm wrong, that's fine. But
hey, that's what makes it all.
That's what makes it fun.
Great.
Yeah, we can't all agree on everything.
I see what you're saying. Like, is she like Patrick Mahomes going crazy off script? No, but is he like? Can he do some things? Yes. So that's where I'm at on the fence. Is he like elite off script? No, but he does do enough at times. And I think maybe the coaching staff put a little limit on him because they didn't want him running around and maybe get banged up. Things we would never know. I know that's the thing, man. We don't want him running around trying to make stuff.
Okay, well, here's the key. Here's the thing. Here's my point. Okay, if you don't want him around to trying to make plays and going off script and stuff like that, then you don't want a Super Bowl. Then you don't want to go to the playoffs. He's
done that though, Steve. I don't want to get into a debate. It's overdone in Dolphins.
It's not a debate. It's a fact.
He's made some great throws where he's rolled out, hit Waddle and stride on rollout.
He's gonna have to. He's gonna have to hook up Joe. Of course, I don't want him running around, having designed plays where he's going to run like a Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. I'm just saying if he gets into a little trouble, and he can make a play, he's going to have to do it. We can't baby this guy, man. I know he's had some injuries and some concussions and stuff like that, but this is playoff time, baby. You got to make some plays. You got to carry this team, like Tyreek said.
Yeah, but he might. Just give him the benefit of the doubt. He's played
very
well.
But I haven't seen it yet. He might, but I haven't seen it yet.
He has done it though, Steve. He's done several rollouts.
He didn't. What did he do last year? He lost 4 games in a row straight. Lost. That can't happen this year. This cannot happen this year, man.
But last year. Let's see what happens this year. Let's enjoy what we've seen so far. This year, he's
Mhm.
played well. By your own admission, you've given him an
Yes,
8. So I
yes, I'm
think we're getting
saying
too far
he
off
has
what you
played
really
well.
feel Tua's played well.
He has.
So,
He has.
all right.
And he
I
needs
know
to
what you're
keep playing
saying. You
well.
want him
That's
to be
all
able
I'm
to take
saying.
off. If something breaks down, you want him to be able to scramble for a first down. He's shown signs of that. He's done it a
No,
few
no, no.
times.
I don't want him scrambling for a first down. I want him to get rid of the ball. I want him to put his eyes downfield, scan the field, go through the
And he's
process,
done
and
that,
hit
though. He
some
has
guys
done that.
downfield.
That's why I think we're having a
I
difference
can
of
count
opinion.
on my hands how many times he's done that. I don't want it. I want him to do it more than just once or twice a game. I want him to do it more than once or twice a game. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, Steve is all fired. But like I said, yeah, of course, you want to see him make elite plays more often and do all kinds of crazy. I understand that for sure, but he's played well enough to get us to 6-3, ahead in the division. So let's just see how it comes down in the end and see if he can win in December. We need a December to remember, not to steal the Alexis, trade line. So that's it.
Rob, thank you very much. That's the point I'm trying to make. Let's see if this guy has what it takes. Like Tyreek said, they can only go. I'm not saying this. Tyreek said this. They're only going to go as far as Tyreek. They're only going to go as far as Tua can take him. Tyreek said that. I didn't say that. So let's see. Show me the money. And you're right, Rob. December is coming up. This is what I want to see. Not like last December. And I know this isn't last year. It's this year. But don't repeat history.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
But no, I understand what you're saying, but I don't know where this became. You didn't even have this on your script for tonight that we were going to talk about Tua.
No, I did say that I wanted to talk a little bit about last week, what we talked with Britt, and we did talk a little bit about Tua, and I just wanted to bring that up, that he's going to have to start going, and we talked about this, Rob, as well. We don't know if it's the organization or Coach McDaniel that is saying, hey, man, we don't want you to run. We don't want you to do anything, just get rid of the ball. I understand that. And he's made vast improvements in that. When he does run, he's slid. Look, I've been complimenting him all year.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where this came from, Steve.
All I'm saying now, Rob, is it's going to go into December. Okay. And I've got PTSD from last year.
I think we all do
from
as
last year.
fans.
Okay. I'm like a battered Finns fan, like Manny, who has the battered Finns show. That's how I feel. Believe me,
I know, Steve. I know. But the simple fact is, as much as Tyreek Hill says it's all on Tua, the whole team has to play well. Tua could play elite, and we could still lose games. So we got to play well on defense. We got to be able to run the ball. Guys have to be able to catch the ball. Coaches have to manage the clock well, get away from penalties and stuff like that. Because, like I said, we don't really rank that high in number of penalties, but they kind of come in the critical time when it seems like, oh, yes, and then you see flag on the field, and you're like, oh, no, So, to me, it's a lot more about that. But yes, is a quarterback going to get the blunt of the praise and the brunt of the criticism? Of course, they're going to get all the praise and all the criticism. That's just how it goes. But can Tua keep on winning with how he's performed through 6-3? If he performs like that, minus the end of that Kansas City game, I will give you that. That Kansas City game went ugly. Whoever you want to blame is fine. But outside of that, overall, he's played well enough to win football games. I understand what you're saying. You want him to really be able to step up in the big games, but those games are coming up. Really, the big games are on the future, because the games that we all thought were big games, we're still at 6-3 in first place in the AFC East. The big games I want to see is holding on to the division lead through December, winning in the playoffs. That's when he will be judged, whether. And again, will it all be on Tua if we win or lose? No, but is he going to get the blame or the praise? Yes, that's just how the nature of the beast.
Hey, can you bring up?
So that's what I say. We'll see.
Rob, I have that's a good comment there by New Attitude, and it's true. Yeah, Josh Allen does throw a lot of interceptions, and he is leading interceptions. Facts.
But I know what Steve's going to. No. Him. He's not on my team.
Can you bring up Color's comment there about Anthony Schwartz there?
Oh.
No, it's yeah. He says, I think Schwartz might actually get some action and help the situation more than we expect.
Oh, he's
To
really fast. Joe
yes,
Rose
to
was saying today, not that I
for
wasn't listening to Miss Finn's
mhm,
and the Finn's tailgate in the morning, but if I happened to listen to Joe Rose when I was in the car, he
uh-huh,
said that that Schwartz is really fast. He went and watched him
mhm.
run, in track. I'm like, man, Joe Rose, so you have a life. He went all the way where I just came from to visit my
He
21-year-old son down in Gainesville. Well, he drove
mhm.
all the way up to Gainesville back when Schwartz was in high school just to watch track relay race. And he said Schwartz was the anchor of that, with some other fast players that are currently in the NFL now that their names already escape me. But Schwartz is the one I remember because I'm a Dolphin fan. So he was the anchor of that. That man can run too. So that's perfect. And yes, Schwartz could be, if not this year, could be. He was a third-round draft pick just a couple
Yeah,
of years
yeah, he
ago.
was a
So
high
I mean,
draft pick. Yeah, he
yeah.
hasn't panned
So
out,
he
but
could
he
be the
does.
under the. Yeah,
Yeah, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
No, go
It
ahead,
was my
Rob.
turn
I
to rant.
interrupted you. I interrupted you. Your
Yeah.
rant. Go
So
ahead.
anyway, Schwartz could be an under the radar signing, whether it's this year or next year, since everyone's saying this offense is typically hard to learn. But he could be a guy that makes contributions down the road for the Miami Dolphins, just based on his speed and some other guys. We may not be able to keep everyone contractually, so he may be a cheap guy to fill in a roster spot for someone that we can't afford to keep. That's all I had to say.
No,
So
that's a good point. That's a good point, and Color makes a good point as well. Yeah, I was surprised. I actually, to be quite frank, I never heard of the guy, and so I said, well, let me go. Let me, then I heard somebody talking about him. I don't know, one of the spaces, and I said, let me look into this guy. He runs a 4.27 40.
oh no, he flies, but like
Yeah,
he's more of a
he,
track guy, like Scotty pointed out.
yeah.
It's all on Tua. You can
I
say
was
that.
I was like, whoa, if this guy can pan out, we're gonna have a guy that can give Tyreek some competition and
Yeah,
Waddle and
you're right,
HM.
Paul. In
HM.
today's NFL, it is all on the quarterback. I mean, well, I'm just saying you still need other stuff because Tua could be great, but if our defense gives up 40 points a game,
Yeah,
so that's what I'm saying. You do need complementary football.
that's
But when
true,
it
Rob.
comes to the offensive side of the football, yes, we need Tua, especially in this day and age of the NFL where it's a quarterback driven league. Because, when Dilfer won the Super Bowl not that long ago, several years ago now, it wasn't necessarily a quarterback driven league. The Ravens won with elite defense. Eli Manning was never really elite. If you look at his stats overall, he's just basically a 500 quarterback in his career, but he has 2 Super Bowl rings. So
Yeah.
you never know.
Defense.
But
It
in
was
today's, yeah, I
defense.
know.
That's what it
Yeah,
was.
but in
Yeah.
this day and age, yes, Paul, you are 100% right. And Paul, if you're new here, tackle that subscribe button, hit a thumbs up for us. That would help the channel. And if you really like it, go find Dolphins Thirsty after the show and hit it
Absolutely.
too. But
Absolutely.
and Kohler has been one of those. Sports has been one of those dudes that get a crucial catch, and you wonder why his team don't use him more. Hey,
Yeah.
Kohler, I know that all that. Hey,
Well,
Ray Finkel.
and I think the reason why they did pick up Schwartz is because Barrios is battling some injuries.
Yeah, yeah, that's what Scotty was. You and him are on the same page. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Barrios
that
is
no, that's a
some
good
injuries.
point, and we will see on that front there. Hey, he, you know, just depends though, because remember we only got so many roster spots that you can't just keep on cutting, but there are probably positions that they can cut.
Oh, and not only that, but
So Robbie
as
Chosen or whatever. We keep on saying, but he always ends up making the cut. We always say
yeah,
Robbie
I
Chosen
know,
might go,
I
and then
know. Can't
he
get
ends
rid of
up.
that guy.
He is the chosen one, man. He is the
I
chosen. He
know, I
always ends
know.
up.
No, but I
So
wanted to make another point, Rob, too, Waddle. Jalen Waddle has been hurt. He's been nicked,
no, I know
as well. So
that's concerning. He's
very
tough as
concerning.
nails, though. He goes out there and he
He
plays.
is.
He's
He is.
injured in the game, comes back during the game. He's hurting his back during the game, hurt his legs during the game, and he comes back and he plays. So hopefully we can keep him because he's very vital to the Dolphins in my because you need that second pair of teams. Because I
Yeah.
think the Tua does an overall good job of spreading the ball around, but it's helped by having 2 speedsters on the outside,
Oh
and
yeah.
that can, So I think that helps him be able to spread the ball around because teams have to respect both of those guys, and it frees up the middle of the field more for other guys.
Yeah.
So to
And
me,
so
keeping Waddle is essential.
yeah, and so let me ask you this, Rob. How do you? You don't have to give me a prediction or give us a prediction, but how do you see the game going against the Raiders this week?
I see the Dolphins winning. I'm not going to say the exact score, but I just because they've done the one thing the Dolphins done well this year, taking care of the teams that they're supposed to take care of. Could they start getting a little closer? Are we going to start blowing it? Are we going to keep on blowing out all the teams that we are supposed to? Maybe not. But I just find if they don't win this week, I'm a miss. They're coming off a bye week. Raiders are coming off a Sunday night game against a tough defensive team. Have to travel basically across
Yeah,
the country from
yeah,
Las
yeah.
Vegas, not Oakland, from Las Vegas,
Right.
and come to South Florida. So all things are favoring the Dolphins. If you don't win this week, things are could go south quickly. So they
Wow.
got to win. So I'm predicting that the Dolphins win this game, and it shouldn't be that tough. But it's still the NFL. Raiders are coming off 2 games. They haven't. I'm hoping that new interim magic because they haven't lost with their interim coach. I'm hoping that little. That's what we did with Dan Campbell back in the day. I remember we won our 2 playoff games. We're all
Yeah.
saying Dan Campbell, and then he was
Yeah.
gone at the end of the season. But as
Yeah.
it turns out, it looks like he's a pretty darn good head coach because he's got the Lions way above wherever the Lions have been in my lifetime, basically.
Yeah.
So, but that's a whole other team. We're not Lions talk, we're Dolphins talk.
There you
So,
go.
but anyway, all I know, Steve, is that we control our own destiny, and that is what I'm getting a message here. I don't know. I'm gonna remove that message. But anyway, sorry, you don't see it, Steve, but I see it from the producer side pop up in my face
No
saying that
problem.
Twitch just went offline. So all you guys that were watching on Twitch, sorry, it just said it lost the connection.
Rob, we
Not
got
that you're
some
hearing that,
we got
but
some
if you watch
scores.
later,
We
what's
got some
that?
score predictions in here if you want to bring them up.
Okay, we'll do. Hey, Bobby, big fins up to you
Thanks for
too.
joining us tonight, Bobby, Mr. Producer, founder, producer, chief
Yeah.
cook, and bottle washer.
And Hooked Up Joe says a 1 p.m. That's why I'm saying Hooked Up Joe. If they lose to the Raiders as a blow to the chin without that win, because that is crazy, man. But I'm not saying they're coming off a Sunday night game against a tough defensive team in the Jets, so they're banged up, I'm sure. Driving across the country, playing us off a bye week. I see the Dolphins winning. I'm not gonna do my final score because I do have to say some things for Dolphins Thursday. Sorry, Bobby.
Aladino,
Aladino,
38-20.
38-20. Let's see. And did I see another score up there?
Yeah, Kohler had
Hooked
his
Up
score
Joe said 27-13.
27-13.
Kohler says 21-9.
Yeah.
Hey, he predicted Denver would win last night, so maybe Kohler knows. I don't know. Wait, let's see. And wow, we got our fan all the way from the Bahamas saying 37-13 with the Dolphins on top. I love it. Coming all the way from the Bahamas. It's better in the Bahamas with predictions like that. I love it. Perfect.
Absolutely.
So, anyway, Steve, back on my. Oh, hold on. I'm absolutely suck at predicting scores, but Finns win. I'm with you, Ray. That's what I'm saying. I'm not ready to lock in yet, but leaning. Oh, so you're Scotty. That's pretty close for your prediction there, Scotty. 1 touchdown
You
win.
know, you know what, Rob? I know I told you my score offline. But the more I've been thinking about this and pondering about it, I think my score is going to be closer than what I had projected. I'm not going to give a prediction tonight, but I do think the Miami Dolphins will win. But I don't think I think it's going to be closer than what I projected to you, Rob. You know, the more that I see these scores popping up here, I know new attitude. Is it attitude or altitude?
Yeah, new
Altitude. I don't have my
attitude.
glasses.
28-13
28-13.
Dolphins.
Yeah, some of these scores are kind of close, and I'm starting to lean towards more of the close score
I
being
think
a
it
little
might be
closer.
close because you're seeing
Yeah.
around the NFL teams are stepping up
Yeah.
and playing great. You know, if you
Yeah.
would have told me this week that Texans would go into Cincinnati and win, the Broncos would go into Buffalo and win, the 49ers beating the Jaguars was not a big surprise. They beat them easily and beat them down. Heck, but I was expecting the 49ers to win. But there were some other upsets that if you would have told me, I would have said, oh, no way. That's going. Oh, the Ravens, the Browns going into
Yes.
the Ravens
Yes.
and beating them. I would have said all that stuff. One of them, I would have said, oh, yeah, one of those is going to happen. But for all of those to happen in one weekend, that's crazy. And, that's just why I say, let's not be that storyline this week after the Raiders game. Let's not be the team that lost to a team that came into our home, coming across the country after we have a bye week. They're coming off a Sunday night affair. There is no reason for the Miami Dolphins to lose to the Raiders.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I agree. And Scotty makes a good point. The Raiders are going to come in playing tough. I agree, Scotty, for sure, 100%. That's what I say about all these teams. They're going to start coming in tough, and playing tough against all teams.
Here's a question outside of Dolphin land, even though it's kind of related. Who do we want in the Jets-Bills game? Who's the
Wow.
I say maybe the Jets because we still.
I say the Jets. Yeah, I say the Jets. We want to. Let's let the more losses, the merrier.
One. Who do I hate less? Whatever. And I don't really want any of them to win. But I think it would actually benefit us maybe if the Jets won, knock Buffalo down one more notch. Because we still have two head-to-head matchup coming against the Jets that we can control our own destiny. But as this week, when we're playing the Raiders, that weekend, the Jets versus the Bills. Who knows? The Bills, of course, guys, you probably heard, fire their offensive coordinator, made him the scapegoat, like it's his fault that they turned the ball over all those times.
We know whose fault it was. We know whose fault it was.
Yeah, I know, exactly. But that's how it goes. But to me, I'm just curious what Dolphin fans are thinking. Are you thinking Bills? Not who do you think is going to win, but who do you think benefits the Dolphins winning more? And my only reasoning saying the Jets is that we got 2 games remaining against the Jets that we can take control and beat them. But basically, because the Jets right now they've played one less game than the Bills. They're 4-5. The Bills are 5-5. So a window would put the Jets right there at 500. So, but a win for the Bills will put them above 500. So it's really tough to know which one is the better go. But I think though, from a mathematical standpoint, just knowing that if you can, you have faith in your Dolphins controlling their own destiny, a Jets win's better there. For one, you're not playing a Jets team coming off a loss. And for 2, you're playing, it's just you got control against the Jets. Then if you can beat them twice, then you're really in control.
Yeah, that's true, Mr. Tinker. That's true, Mr. Tinker. The Jets can't score. You're right about that.
And that's the one reason I think. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm thinking, but that's what I think will win. And I prefer a Jets. That's why I say I guess is prefer a Jets win, as much as I hate to say that, because the Jets are my least favorite team, even over the Bills. But that week, I think a Jets win might be. Because no matter what, whoever loses that game between the Bills and the Jets, they're basically going to be out of it. So, because they're both.
That's true. That's true.
They're both
Cap for Life join is in the house.
Hey, Cap for Life. Tonight. Yeah, big fins up, Cap for Life.
Thank you, Cap for Life. Appreciate you joining. So, Rob, let's go ahead and shut it down. As much as I don't like to do that, like I said before, we could talk on here forever. Especially Miami Dolphins. But I think last words, I think the Miami Dolphins will win this week. I think since I've been thinking about this, I think it's going to be closer than we expect, but I do believe they're going to come away with a win. Rob, you said the same thing. They're going to come away with the win. Any last words before we close shop?
No, man, I think the Dolphins going to win. I want to thank all you guys for coming in to the room. Hey, Daniel drops in if I'd rather see them tie. What's the Paul say? Great game time weather Sunday, 70 to 79 degrees, partly cloudy, 10% chance. Thank you, Paul, for the update there. Yes. I live right here in South Florida, and I didn't even know. All I know is raining right now in Pembroke Pines. That I can tell you. And then let's see. Cap, better late than never. Thank you for coming in. If you trust that we put on a good show tonight, Cap, know that thumbs up button. And guys, just remember, if you want all your local sports team down here in South Florida, whether you're a Dolphins, Canes, Heat, Marlins fan, check out Canes Wear. They're official sponsor of the Real Talk Fins Network. So, but other than that, man, and now they're change or scoring changes. Hey, all that matters is that the Dolphins win this week. It's almost a must because you got very tough game coming up in the Meadowlands. If they still call it the Meadowlands, I'm probably showing my age. At MetLife, whatever you want to call it, in New Jersey. They got a very Black Friday. So this coming Sunday, the Dolphins have to win. No excuses. Get the job done. By 3, by 30, doesn't matter. Just come out with a W, and hopefully they stay relatively healthy. And guys, tomorrow, if you want more Dolphins Thirsty, check me out at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So, Steve, any more? Or if not, I will close out our show here.
No, that's it. I just want to thank everybody for joining us again tonight. Appreciate y'all. We can't do this show without you. If you haven't liked, please go ahead and like the show. If you liked it, of course, but I'm sure you did. Go ahead and hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed and you're new, please subscribe and share with your friends, your families, your neighbors. And all I can say, Rob, is remember,
Dolphins
number one, baby.
Dolphins number one.